pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
roll call.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Marasini?
Here.
Mr. Schuster?
Present.
Ms. Tucker?
Before you go on, Mr. Chairman, I'd like the Secretary to note that we had an executive session May 20th and May 29th to discuss personnel matters. Just want that put in the record. Thank you, Jamie. Sorry, George, go ahead.
Okay, audit, Carlin,
My first.
you're first, that's what it says.
All right. You all have the audit in front of you somewhere. It was, I believe it was emailed to you last week as well. It is huge. It gets bigger every year, I think. I'm going to try and kind of recap that for you and put it in some kind of a context so that you can a little more easily digest what's in there. So, first of all, we're gonna, the opinion, I'm gonna go over the opinion first because there is a change on the auditor's opinion. If you recall, in the past, we had an exception on your audit opinion because you didn't capitalize construction period interest. Because your construction period has gone on for so long, to capitalize that was just kind of misleading, we felt was misleading to the financial statements. Interestingly, GASB, the Government Accounting Standards Board, has agreed with us, and they actually changed the ruling so that construction period interest is no longer capitalized, it's expensed, as you have been doing all along. So for 2018, there is no exception on the auditor's report for that. However, because they're comparative statements, and the new GASB wasn't issued until 2018. There's still the exception on the 2017 year, but not on the 2018, and going forward there won't be an exception anymore. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Generally, GASB does not agree with us when we disagree with them, but in this case they did. So again, looking at your, what we call balance sheet, but it says statement of net position, which is number 1. We're going to skip over the management discussion and analysis, which is all of the Roman numeral numbers, and we're going to go right to the report, which is page number 1. So, yeah, keep going. The management discussion and analysis, that's required supplementary information. It compares this year with last year's numbers, current versus prior, budget versus actual. We're going to go over a lot of that, so I'm not going to spend any time on that, but I think it's a good resource for you to look at and read through that. But just looking at the balance sheet, your working capital, which is total current assets over current liabilities, you're in very good position. You're at about 3 to 1. Last year you were about 2.8 to 1. Usually, 1 to 1 is considered adequate. You're at 3 to 1, so you're in a very good current position on your balance sheet. Cash, you have some cash and certificates of deposit. If you remember, you moved some of your funding to Pliget. So you still, at least at the end of your fiscal year, November of 2018, still had a fairly strong cash position. That at the top part is all unrestricted cash that you can use for operations and for some of your capital projects that you have going on. And then if you look at accounts receivable, there's accounts receivable and then your unbilled receivables and other receivables, etc. They're about the same as last year. You can look, the composition has changed slightly, but in total they're really fairly consistent with the prior years. We generally look at over 90 days accounts receivable, and again they're pretty much the same as last year, not a real big change. Your allowance remains at about $120,000, which covers about 80% of your greater than 90 receivables, greater than 90-day receivables. Most of those older than 90-day receivables are final bills that are still on your records, which is why we have an allowance for those. The other items, interest receivable, prepaids, not really any change there. If you look at your net property and equipment, there's a disclosure in the back that breaks all that out. But basically, you had some additions to property and equipment. You completed your clarifier valve project. You have about $8.3 million still in construction in progress. That was for construction and engineering on your Phase 2 project of the LTCP, engineering for Phase 3, the CSO satellite treatment facility, the safety improvement projects, the Nora pump station. All those projects were still, I think some of them have since been completed, but at the end of your fiscal year, they were still in construction in progress. And you had a small amount in some equipment additions as well. The next items are going down that list. Funds held by trustee. You can see that number is going down. You had some actual increases to that because you had 2 bond issues during this fiscal year. You had your 17B bond issue and you had your 18 bond issue. So you actually received some funding. It's net down $2 million, but that's because of the construction that you have going on, even though you added some construction funds to that with your new bond issues. Prepaid insurance on your bonds, that's just the insurance that you pay. That goes down every year as it gets amortized. The 2 last items on there, deferred outflows. There's a deferred charge on refunding. Every time you refund your bonds, there's generally some costs left over that need to get added to the new cost of the bonds. And that charge gets deferred. And so that's, and it gets amortized every year. So that should continue to go down unless you continue to refund more old bonds, and then it will go up again. Deferred outflows relates to your pensions. That comes from your actuarial calculation on your pensions. Going over to the other side, I'm not going to spend as much time on every page, as you'd like to know, but I think this page is important because it shows you kind of where you were last year compared to this year. So again, over on the current liabilities side, you see your current portion of your bonds. Accounts payable is about the same as last year, slightly down. Construction costs are down. You had more construction costs payable last year than you did this year, although you still had some construction going on. Under your long-term liabilities, compensated absences is long-term. You can see your bonds payable net of the current portion, $50 million. So if you add that with your current portion, you have close to $52 million still outstanding in your bonds. Those will get paid, those continue to get paid down every year. They went up from the prior year because, again, you had 2 new bond issues. Your net pension liability decreased significantly from the prior year. If you can see, your pension liability at 2018 was $10,000. At the end of 2017, it was $536,000. That all comes from the actuarial calculation from PMRS, Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement Services. Apparently, they had a very good year on there because most of that relates to the increase in the assets in their investments. So they had a very good year on their investments, and the market value of their investments went up. Your actual pension liability was pretty much the same. It increased, but then when you subtract the value of the investments, that's what you were left with. So that can change from year to year depending on the market value of the investments. So
Will it go as high as, can it go
it
as high
can
as
easily
the
go,
17
yeah,
one?
if at, because this is always at a specific point in time. So we're looking at it as of November, at the end of your fiscal year, November 30th. So at that particular point in time, whatever those investments are, so if they happen to go up or down, and you know, December they were down. So actually, you did pretty well by having this valued at November. The same thing. There's a discount rate that changes, and the discount rate it's as of that specific day, and that can make a huge difference in your pension calculation. So I don't pretend to be an actuary. PMRS has their own actuaries that do this, but that's just how it ended up for your fiscal year. And then you also have a post-employment benefit. You have some post-employment benefits, health and life insurance for some of your retired employees. That's actually an actuarial calculation as well that's done. It's done every 2 years. So last year it was performed by an outside actuary. This year it was estimated. So we estimated it based on the same principles as last year. Deferred inflows of resources relates entirely to your pension and to the post-employment benefits. So again, those numbers come directly from the actuarial reports. And then the last 3 items are your net position. So you can, as you see, you had total net position of $15 million. 6.4 of that is invested in your capital assets, net of the related debt. 2.7, almost 2.8 is in restricted funds. So those are your funds held by trustees, net of any unspent bond proceeds that you have. And then the unrestricted portion is the 6.46 million that again is available for operations, fund capital projects as they're coming up. So I know you still have some things left on your LTCP plan, and so you do have some unrestricted funding available for that as well. Any questions on that page? I'm going to go briefly over the next page.
Yeah, I was
Go
question.
ahead.
On this property and equipment, that we were at 43 million in 2017, correct? Now it's at 50 million? So it increased $7 million.
Right. And that's, if you'll, in the back, in the note, in the disclosures, there's a disclosure that lists all of the, not individually fixed assets, but it's listed by equipment, and your plans, et cetera. And so you can see what it was last year, where you had additions. A lot of that addition was in construction in progress, because again, you still had a lot of construction going on.
So we spent $7 million in 1 year in
You spent
construction.
more than that,
Okay,
because that's net of depreciation.
okay.
Yeah, a lot of that's probably the satellite treatment.
That's what I was just gonna ask, that's basically because we own that plant, or the treatment thing now.
Yep, yep. A lot of construction going on. Anything else? Okay. The next page then is statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in that position. So if you look comparatively to last year, you had total revenues 5.1 this year. Last year it was slightly under 5. So your revenues are up slightly. You did not have a rate increase this year, so that increase was due primarily to increase in consumption. As far as your operating expenses, if you look, again, your operating expenses actually went down. And on the very last 2 pages of your report, there's a breakout that will give you all of the details for the operating expenses and the administrative expenses. So operations went down primarily due to a couple of things. I think wages and salaries and benefits were down. And administrative, also benefit line cleaning and repairs was less in this year than in the prior year. Administrative expenses decreased slightly, only about $15,000, and primarily that was the result of the pension expense that we already talked about was much less than last year. Non-operating revenues, and again, those are broken out by line items, so you can see interest expense is up slightly because again, you had 2 new bond issues. You had $200,000 in costs related to your bond issuance, and then you had some amortization and other income. So net, it was down from the prior year, from 1.796 to 1.799. Change in your net position, that would be your, what you might normally call a net income, was $796,794. And then the last 2 lines reconcile beginning and ending net position. That's pretty much all I wanted to spend time on. If you wanted to look at, just briefly at the cash flows.
I have a question.
Yes.
The money we send to Menneson every year for that line usage fee, this will be all in here, everything?
No, the line usage fee is only what's left that you haven't sent to them. So what you haven't sent to them would be in these maintenance fees and customer deposits. So that would be what was left after you sent that. It would not be included in your revenues because it's not your money. So that's just a charge that's added to your bills for Monessen and for Denora for their line fees. But that goes directly to the liability
Okay.
side, and then when you pay it, it comes out of the liability. So it's not a revenue that belongs to you. Okay. The notes to the financial statements, I'm not gonna go over those, but basically, if you look at the disclosures in your financial statement, the first few pages are all of your accounting pronouncements. There is a new accounting pronouncement that is coming up. It's relating to leases. You don't have many leases, if any, although it does apply to equipment leases as well. So that'll be coming up in the next couple of years, and we will be looking at that to see how it impacts your financial statements. So in the disclosures, we have all of your accounting policies. We have the information on the capital assets that you had asked about. There's some more detail on the deferred charge on the refundings. There's probably 20 pages on your pension plan if you're interested in a lot of detail. There's a lot of information that's required to be disclosed there. All of your bonds, all of the detail on all of your bonds outstanding is in the disclosures. Post-employment benefits, all of your insurance coverage, any outstanding litigation with any subsequent events, etc. So that information is all in the disclosures to your financial statements. I would, highly recommend that you read those disclosures. I think there's a lot of information that goes along with the financial statements that is important to know. Before I finish, there are also two items that I wanted to go over. We do have your legal notice, by the way, that if and when you approve the financial statements, we have that ready to go. The DCED report now needs to be filed online, so again, once your financial statements are approved, they need to be uploaded, and we'll work with Amy on how to get that done.
I have one more question.
Yes.
What's this $68 million? Is this what we owe?
No, that's everything. So that's the total of all your assets here, and then over on this side is the total of all of your liabilities,
Okay.
net, and then this is your total net position.
Okay.
This is kind of what belongs to you. After you take all of your assets and subtract all of that, that's yours. But part of that, this is invested in capital assets, so this is not available to spend. This is restricted, so that also is not available to spend. So just that piece is available to spend.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Regular.
Okay, now,
You had to too.
there are also two letters, and I do need to go over those with you. One of them says to the members of the board, so that has the information that we're required to communicate to the board of directors. So if we have any significant audit findings, we're required to communicate that to you. We did not have any, but we are talking about the change in the accounting policy, and again, the change to the capitalized construction period interest. Any accounting estimates that are included in your financial statements, we need to communicate with you. And the major estimates that are included in there are the allowance for doubtful accounts, the estimated useful life of your fixed assets, and then all of the estimates that are included in your actuarial calculations of your pension and post-employment benefit plans. A lot of estimates included there. And the same thing with significant disclosures related to the defined benefit pension plan and post-employment benefits.
Look.
That's okay. We didn't have any difficulties in performing the audit. Any entries, any corrections that we had were given to Amy, and she has made the corrections on your financial statements. We have a management representation letter here that when you approve the audit, it will be dated the same day as the audit. I'll need you to sign that. We're not aware of any consultations that you had with any other independent accountants, with possibly the exception that you and I had talked about.
Yeah.
Okay. And we didn't have any other findings or issues. So those are our required communications. And the second letter says to the Board of Directors, and that discusses internal control issues, whether there were any significant deficiencies or material weaknesses. So we had a couple, I think 2 or 3 of them were probably the same as last year and are always the same. We proposed a number of adjustments to the financial statements, and because of the overall impact of these adjustments, we consider this finding to be a significant deficiency and a material weakness in the authority's internal control. Also, as is common with organizations of this size, your internal staff doesn't have the background or the research materials to prepare these financial statements, including all of the disclosures, without our assistance. So again, we need to disclose to you and the board that that is something that we do. And also because of the small size of your office staff, your accounting staff, you don't have the necessary segregation of duties that normally we would like to see. We don't recommend that you hire people just to have more segregation of duties, but again, we have this comment, I think, every year to remind you as the board that you need to stay involved in the financial affairs of the organization and to oversee the finances. Lastly, this one is a new one. We notice, every year that you sign all of the checks here, but with changes in technology, and I'm noticing this with other clients as well, there are a lot of things that are being paid online, or that are automatic payments. They're just automatic deductions out of your checking account. And those the board may not be seeing because you're not signing actual checks. So our recommendation is for those items, and I made this recommendation to Amy, and she may already be doing it for you, is to make sure that the board has a list of those items that are automatic payments coming out of your checking account or online payments that you're making. So again, if your intent is to see the expenses as they're going out of the authority, that you actually have the opportunity to see all of them. So that was our last recommendation. Any other questions, comments? Again, there's probably 60 pages in this financial statement. I mean, it's pretty hefty. We kind of joke about it sometimes in the office about the book that we prepared here, but there's just a lot of information. You have a lot of bond issues outstanding. You have your defined benefit pension plan. You have construction projects going on. So there's a lot of information there. So, any other questions for us? Comments?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. I'm going to give this to Amy. This is the management representation order. So generally, we have management sign that, a member of the board. Basically, it tells us that you've given us all of the information, you've answered any of our questions truthfully, you're not holding anything back from us. So I dated it today in case you approve this. If you don't approve the financial statements today, that's fine, we'll issue another one. It has to be dated the same day as the financial statements. Financial statements will be dated on the day that you accept them. And the reason for that is, again, GASB wants to make sure that you understand these are your financial statements. And so you have to, the only pages that belong to us are the opinion. The rest of the pages are yours. So we want to make sure that you approve that you accept the financial statements and you approve them. So when that happens, everything will be dated. You'll notice none of those are dated. They're all marked draft.
Yeah.
Our letterhead isn't on them. They're not signed. So once that's all finalized, we'll get that all done and bound. Your bound copies and everything copied. Okay. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Carlin.
You're welcome. If you don't need me, I'll get them.
Okay.
Okay.
Public participation.
Quick question, I was just wondering if we could get an update on how the flow study is going around the north pump station? Is it ongoing? How long will it continue to go? When might we have conclusions?
The original plan was to collect 6 months worth of flow data. That's as of June. That'll have occurred. So the plan would be for us to begin to evaluate and compile that data to look at the findings. We can generally report that there haven't been any issues. Just operationally, Mr. Gaskell has indicated that the high water alarms that were chronic in the past have pretty much gone away. So that was a combination of things that the authority did that I reported on previous. They checked the operation of the air release on the force main, lowering the dam had a significant impact. So generally speaking, there's been significant improvement to the problem. And so with the data that we've collected thus far, we would want to confirm. There's been decent rain this spring, but I just want to confirm what size storms specifically that were captured.
So you don't want to go through the summer to get the summer thunderstorms?
Well, that's
or-
always, I mean, inevitably
You
when
can
you
go
have
on
flow
forever,
meters
yeah.
in, as soon as you pull them out, you'll get a huge storm. But you just have to, spend the amount of money that seems appropriate. So, we'll analyze the data as far as what size storms that we collected, and then I'll make a recommendation to the board about whether to remove them or keep them in for a couple more months.
Anybody else?
JT.
Yeah, James Tito is my name, and it seems like I have just a small problem compared to what's going on. But I have a problem with storage where I live. It's been going on for like maybe ever since that plan down below, Riggs Manor was put in. And I don't get any advice from anybody, just one group will say it's the other groups, the other group will say it's their group, and I've already been told that's my line, my responsibility. It's like over 200 foot, a 4-inch line, okay? And I don't know how all this is going to become about whenever that line goes bad. First of all, when they built Riggs Manor, the code enforcer was told, don't even bother going up there, by one of the mayors. Don't even bother going up.
Could I just, where are you specifically? I live in, where is Ridge Manor? I'm sorry, I don't know where it's at.
Yeah. You familiar with Morelda?
Yes.
Okay. It's the last, probably avenue above.
Okay.
Riggs Manor is right next to Morelda, and I'm above Riggs Manor.
Okay, thank you. I had no idea where we were. Thank you.
And it's like, when they put that line in, I was working at the time, and they put a fire hydrant line up on top of Gilmore Terrace. And then they put my 4-inch line in the same trench with fire hydrant line, which is illegal, but I'm no attorney, so. But the bottom line is I can't get an answer from the Sewerage Authority or the borough on whose line it is. And Cindy wasn't even in there at the
That's
time.
a lateral, isn't it?
Can I interject here?
Yeah, go ahead. You
I've
on somebody.
discussed this with Mr. Tito
Okay.
various times for the past few years, correct?
But you hung up on me one time.
And I'll disagree with you, sir.
All right, let's just make.
Yeah, that's
You
good.
don't even know what the layout is.
Hold on.
Alright,
Let's just
that's
make this clear. What can we do to help this man? Can we send somebody up there?
I just want to make a
Good.
comment, okay?
Good.
First of all, it is not the sewage authority's line, okay? From what I understand, I've had various discussions with Petrosky on this, and if I'm not mistaken, it's not the borough's line either. It's his private line.
200 foot?
That's what I was told, okay?
200 foot of my line?
We did not install it, sir. I know that. We've had this
Well, then,
discussion.
you're the
Okay.
main guy I know would speak up, okay? If you don't know anything about it, how are you speaking up? but this is his line, it's a borough line.
I looked into it, it's not our line. We do not have a line up there.
All right.
Okay. I can tell you.
What can we do to help them? Like, everybody helps each other in situations. You said to me you could send somebody up there, or,
We have a camera. We could send a camera up and see about a camera, okay?
Well,
I don't know what else you want me to do.
Is it plugged up or what?
pardon me?
is it clogged up?
No, but it's clogged up 7 times since they installed that fire hydrant, and they put the sewage line in the same trench, which I don't think has anything to do with clogging up.
It's a fire hydrant.
But the only way to realize what's going on, you have to come up and I have to explain it to you. He doesn't know how that line runs, and I was told not too long ago that the DEP, who I call up several times, told Petrosky, it had nothing to do with Mike, that there's a septic system in the middle of the road, and a septic system in the middle of the road?
Something right.
There used to be up there a line from the house, runs down over the hill, and that's where the sewage went. And then when they built Riggs Manor, they had to, get that water running, they had to contain it. So that's how they end up hooking up the 200-some foot line.
Sean, you know this area?
Absolutely, it's my neighborhood.
Can we go up there and see what we can do
We
to
can
help?
attempt. I don't know how successful we'll be with a camera in it, but I can try.
Who installed that line, Sean?
That had been the builder of the Del Sandro Drive. Regis Martin, is that what his name was, Jason?
What?
The builder of the Del Sandro plant. Would have been a Regis Martin.
Regis Martin?
Yeah, I think he's gone past.
But,
He would have been the developer, whoever was the developer of Del Sandro plant.
yeah, we developed
That's who it
all the
was.
homes.
That's who it was.
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay, now there's the code enforcer, because you guys are sewage, not the borough. Does the code enforcer have anything to do with coming up there and maintaining and seeing how the line runs? It was told not to even come up there.
I don't know what the agreement was.
No, I'm not saying, I don't expect you to, but
Years ago,
nobody
that was put
knows.
in.
Nobody knows but
Right.
me,
Right.
All right.
to be honest with you.
When's a good time for some of us to come up and look at this?
Anytime,
I have
anytime,
personal
but
things.
you know what?
Do you have his number?
All right. How about let's talk about one day this week. What's a good day for you?
Any day.
What's good for you, Sean?
Probably midweek.
Wednesday?
For me, Wednesday or Thursday.
What time? What time's a good time?
10:30, 11 o'clock.
How about we come up
I'll call
Thursday?
you.
I think a couple board members should go up too, if they can. I know I can go. Lou, if you're free.
I mean,
I know
it's
George
just
retired.
like, people do whatever they want to do. I wasn't there when they put the line in, okay? But the other neighbor, he put a line in with a manhole right next to the fire hydrant. This, no inspector, no code enforcer, just run the line from your house, his house, over to the fire hydrant and put a manhole in, and then run it downhill and hook up to the 200-foot line, who I've been told is my responsibility. I don't think it came from you, but I've been told that, in other words,
I told you it's not mine. That's what I've always told you, and you know that.
yeah, but,
It's not the sewage authorities. That's the discussion we've had.
okay, well,
Correct.
you should have an answer. If it's my line, which everybody says it is, how's another neighbor get to put up his manhole there?
That's between you and the borough. The sewage authority does not own or maintain any lines in that vicinity, sir.
So it's the borough.
That's the discussion I know.
He went to the borough, and Mike, the borough is not the borough.
Let me just say something, because my daughter had a problem in Jeanette the same way. She went here, there, and everywhere, and everybody bounced it back and forth.
Exactly.
Somebody has to go and inspect it.
Find out
Even
what's
if
going
it's
on.
not ours, he needs to know who to go to.
See the bottom?
I agree with you.
So go ahead and inspect it.
Lou,
My daughter never got paid no money for her basement being flooded out.
somebody else.
Ms. Tucker, I agree with you, okay? But the bottom line becomes, it's not the sewage authority's responsibility.
I said
Here's
that's
the,
what I'm
fine.
here
here's
to
the,
state.
here's the
All we
bottom,
That's all.
wanna do is
here's
check.
the bottom line. Denora, Denora, we need to help each other, no matter how it is, we have to stick our necks out sometime to work with each other and help the community. This man, well, let me finish, this man pays bills down here, and we should help each other in any way we can. So our responsibility is to go up there, and if we can help the man, we need to help him. Okay, the man's going through some personal problems, he's went everywhere, and no one's not giving an answer. Maybe we can help him in some type of way.
I don't have a problem with that, Mr. Taylor, you know that. We try to help everybody.
JT, I know
in
other
both
people,
communities.
JT, I know other people say come up. Me, Sean, and Lou will be at your residence Wednesday at 11 a.m.
Okay, one more thing. Now, when I talked to one person with the DEP, pool, you name it, and he's the only one that I explained it to over the phone, and he had a recollection of what I was talking about, okay? And nobody else knows that this line goes down over the hill in front of my house, then it makes a 90-degree turn left over to where the main is, okay? And then the main goes like 200 foot down over the hill to the Riggs Manor. You know, it has to be explained to somebody that knows what they're talking about. And the guy from DEP says, well, the best thing for you to do is come right straight across alongside the road and tap into the
Well, they're
person.
gonna check it out for you then,
All right.
okay?
Yeah, we're coming up. Write down your number, JT, so we can make sure that.
I think Sean said he'd go.
Sean, you have his number?
I have his number.
Okay, all right. He'll write it down anyway. So
Yeah, I'm not down here, 'cause you know what?
No, we know you. You want to do
I'm
what's
not down
best.
here to raise Cain. I just would like to know, when I'm gone, what's my wife gonna do? You know what I mean? That's no concern of you guys, to be honest with you.
Write down your
They're
number,
gonna help
JT.
you out, sir.
Yes, we will.
Pardon me?
They're
Well,
gonna check and see who to contact for that, okay?
And you know, as far as the line, I was told that you had no business putting a line in the trench with the fire hydrant line.
Well, if somebody puts that in there, wasn't supposed to, they need to
Right.
take
That's
a contract.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna
You
find
have a
out.
physical barrier
Yeah.
between them, can't you?
We're
That
gonna
used to be the
bring
old
the
rule.
camera up too.
No, you wouldn't.
Sean,
No,
when we
put
take
a-
guys
don't
up
put a
Wednesday,
federal
we're gonna
water
look
line
at,
through
we
the
are?
same
Well,
trench.
you know, the physical,
We're gonna
I
come
thought the
up
old
with
rule
that.
was like if you had a physical
We're gonna take what
barrier
now?
between them,
I
you were
guess we're
allowed
gonna
about
take
the same
the
pitch.
guys up Wednesday with the camera.
Not anymore.
Yeah, if we need
We'll
it, it's
check
there.
on it. I-
And you know
I'm
what,
in
if,
business for-
and then whoever's
I don't know if that has
responsible for that
anything to do with
line, they need to take responsibility.
No, probably
That's
doesn't.
wrong, he shouldn't have to go through that.
Well, all it needs is,
200 foot, that line could have.
from what I've seen, it just needs redone about 20, 30 feet of it. Instead of it running down in the woods where the original owner used to just dump the sewage. Just dump it and let it run over the hill. But with Riggs Manor in there, you can't do that. You can't run your wastewater down to somebody's property. So,
Thanks for coming,
All right,
JT.
thank
We'll
you.
see you on Wednesday,
All
buddy.
right.
Thank you for coming. All right,
Next,
if no one else.
That's it.
minutes. Did everybody read the minutes of the last meeting?
Yes, I'd make a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
I'll second it.
Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Mr. Marasini?
Aye.
Mr. Schuster?
Aye.
Ms. Tucker?
Aye.
What's gonna happen?
Treasurer's report.
And I make a motion to approve the treasurer's report, pay the bills.
I'll second.
Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Mr. Marasini?
Aye.
Mr. Schuster?
Aye.
Ms. Tucker?
Aye.
Correspondence.
We only have a couple things. First one is a letter received from, a letter we received from Shire Law Firm in regard to the estate of Bernard Johnson, which I sent over to Mr. Bylaw. A letter received from Liberty Mutual, surety regarding the contract and bond status query on the GM McCrossin, And number 3 is a letter received June 3rd. Stephen D. Thomas regarding a notice of state of claim for payments of materials or equipment supplied to W. Jones, David W. Jones Electric Company in the amount of $3,958.55.
They claim we owe them that money, or that Jones owes them that money?
Just a notice that we received from them.
Okay, thank you.
guys have regulations about being overweight?
That's it.
Anything else?
That's all I have on the correspondences, sir.
Managers report.
I'd like to go into executive session real quick, please.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
I'll second it.
Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Mr. Marasini?
Aye.
Mr. Schuster?
Aye.
Ms. Tucker?
Regular.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Mr. Marasini?
Aye.
Mr. Schuster?
Aye.
Ms. Tucker?
Solicitors report.
No, I'm not done.
Oh, you're not
We're
done?
still on the manager's report.
Manager's report, I have an agreement with the fire alarm system monitoring company for $25 a month for a 60-month agreement. It's the company to do the monitoring on our new satellite facility. I need a motion to enter into that agreement, please.
If you wanna do
Pending.
conditional,
Mr.
Yeah.
Bylons,
I'll make a motion
Right, my
to
review.
approve that pending the solicitor's review.
I just got this today and it's
I'll second the
two
motion.
pages.
Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Mr. Marasini?
Aye.
Mr. Schuster?
Aye.
Ms. Tucker?
the next thing is enter into an agreement with Municipay to go, whenever we do our switch over, we're hoping for August 1st. And it's just a credit card company that would do our credit cards, our machines in the office and online. I need a motion to enter into that agreement for effective August 1st.
I make a motion that, what's the name of the company?
Municipay?
Municipay, we pay them, for their credit card, how's that, a system or a reader?
Processor.
Everything.
Processor, to pay our bills.
Who made the motion?
She did.
I'll second.
You fix it.
Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Mr. Marasini?
Aye.
Mr. Schuster?
Aye.
Ms. Tucker?
And one more agreement for our copier is up in the next month and a half or so, with Ford. Enter into a new agreement with them. We're currently paying $95 a month, and the new one would be $95 a month also. Just a new machine, asking for a motion to enter into that agreement.
I'll make that motion and an agreement with Ford.
I'll second it.
Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Mr. Marasini?
Aye.
Mr. Schuster?
Aye.
Ms. Tucker?
I think everybody has a copy of the Carroll Township bill. We finally got that in because we were waiting for the audit. Okay. Carroll Township's new bill is $78,651 for the year. Okay, so I have a bill that we're gonna submit out to them tomorrow morning ASAP. It's just out behind schedule. Okay? And,
Not to interrupt you, but the ones that we had, the 3 people that that we get from PMA, did we get that straightened out? Okay, thank you. Amy nodded yes.
okay,
Thank you,
I'll have
Amy.
to agree with her. She said so.
Thank you.
Too many people want to eat cheese.
Any board member would like to go see the satellite facility. It's up and running, okay? Please just let me know whenever you want to see it. I'll be more than happy to, myself or Sean, if the board wants to do it, whenever you want to do it, just please call, okay?
Should we invite the Denora and Menneson Council?
We are, it's August
28.
28th.
Well, that's the date we're
That's the date we're shooting for,
suggesting. It's up to you,
okay?
up to the board.
Are
Okay,
we,
but this
are
is
we
before-
waiting on that, or do we go if we want ahead of time?
You would go ahead of time, but we're gonna have it open to the public August 28th. Because the date, if yous are okay with that date. I'll be on vacation, no, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
It's not a Monday.
No, it's Wednesday.
That's Wednesday.
All right, I'm gonna do.
Hmm?
I'm gonna do, you gonna do it early?
Yeah, what time?
We did not set times.
All right.
1 AM.
I was thinking of 3.
That's when our council meeting will take place next.
Well, I think it was gonna be, you were gonna make it like, we were thinking a range of times so that people could come and go, right, versus just one at a time.
Well, I was figuring like a 4-hour window. Yeah, I don't know, we've never done this before. 10 to 2,
Sounds good.
12 to 4.
10 to 2.
10 to 2 is a good time, yeah.
So we'll put that on our bills. Okay,
Yes.
so it'll be open to the public, and then we'll give Ike some money to run an ad in the newspaper. Okay?
As a public servant, he should do it for nothing.
You would think so.
I'll do it for pizza.
That's all I have,
No,
sir.
you don't. The hiring?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hirings,
I'll do it, I'll make the motion.
Oh, okay.
go ahead.
We do that under new business.
Yeah, we'll
Okay,
do
sorry.
it.
I thought we were gonna do it under palms. Go ahead.
Solicitors report.
We've covered everything that I had to discuss. And if everyone heard, but the hearing is scheduled in our grievance matter for July the 30th at 10 a.m. here in the conference room. So we coordinate who would be in attendance at that
Where,
time.
I got an email, he wants that, since me and you were at the hearing, that me and you be there. So if any other board
For
member
what?
wants to come, for the grievance.
Yeah, I'll be
I
there.
Yeah.
I want, he knows more about,
Now, I'm gonna be there, I was at the grievance when we did the
you
hearing.
could do that, but I would like him to
That's
testify.
fine.
Because he knows more about,
It's not about what that, it's about what happened from that point to point B, it's nothing about other sewage. It's what happened when he testified and all the stuff that we went through, that's all the hearing's about.
okay.
Yeah,
But I would, I like him.
10 o'clock.
I'll be ready, yeah.
Question, what about the questions they need to ask on that email? Or what they wanted us to find out for them, the lawyers wanted us to find out? Specifics.
I'm replying to that email, the mass email,
Okay.
back to everybody who would receive
Yeah, I
the
got,
copy.
yeah, I got their copy.
I haven't sent that out yet, but you will receive it.
What else?
Well, what did I receive then? I got one with the questions in there, asking ask people certain things.
Oh, I didn't get that one. I have any.
He sent the email saying that he wanted to sit down with the workers that were upset about the certification.
More
Yes.
than that, you got more questions.
You would like,
But,
you didn't get the
I'll
email?
show it to
I
you.
didn't
Yeah, I
get
got
that.
that.
I
Okay.
didn't get that one.
Huh?
Is that gonna be for that meeting, or will you have to give them that information at a different time?
I talked with him, and he's gonna get back to me to clarify exactly how he wanted to proceed with it, so I didn't
What about,
send the email out to everybody at this point yet, waiting to hear back from him.
why they upset?
But they got their certifications.
Okay. I didn't get that.
You didn't get the email?
Nope.
Who did you? Well, you get
I
it,
don't
you'll get
get
it in the
it.
mail. Well, he is sending you, he's
Yeah.
sending you a whole packet.
Nobody sent me emails.
Okay.
We don't have emails.
We done with solicitors?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no further report unless you have.
Engineers report?
Just status update, satellite treatment facility as we just discussed, tour will be held, we are, up and running. Still continues to be just some minor operational things we're working through. We are looking to have our first, wet weather event test, run as soon as we identify ahead of time that we're gonna have a good rainfall. We're gonna come out and do our sampling as part of the testing period you authorized us to do. On the safety improvements project, that's for the chlorine and the other safety issues here at the treatment plant. The electrical contract, under Franco Electric, they're completed with the electrical portion of the work. Lone Pine's still doing the general construction, but as part of that, I do have a completion certificate presented for Frankel's work on the safety improvements project, so I just need a motion to execute the completion certificate and the final certificate documenting that they are in fact complete with their work.
I need a motion.
Say it a little bit slower.
So it's a motion to execute the completion certificate and the final certificate for Frankel Electric as part of their electrical work for the 2017 wastewater treatment plant safety improvements project.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Mr. Marasini?
Aye.
Mr. Schuster?
Aye.
Ms. Taylor?
I'm just gonna give a copy.
Oh,
Email
Ms.
me.
Tucker.
that-
I'm sorry.
Mr. Taylor.
I'm so sorry. Ms. Tucker.
Aye.
I'm so sorry.
I said, I'm gonna see if she realizes what she said.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Okay, good.
This was,
But it was for me.
Tom and I need to discuss this, but this was just kinda, I'm catching up a little bit on this item, but, so with David W. Jones, we had, and this is, I'll say it's hearsay, but we've heard some rumblings of, that there may be some, stability issues, for lack of a better word, with the company. So we are getting close to closing out that contract with them. They have the electrical contract for the satellite treatment facility. So I think I have to review this letter, but I think this infers that there is a vendor that's saying that Jones owes them money. If that's the case, we'll wanna, not officially close out the contract with them. We'll need to make sure that's resolved.
I just got that today, so I'm gonna have to address it.
That's why we won't be liable for anything then, huh?
Right, I mean, the specific closeout documents say that you're not liable, but if you are told, if you're made aware that, a vendor is owed money by one of your contractors, you certainly
All right,
want
what do
to
you need
take
us to
that
do?
into account. I'm just making the board aware of this. If there's,
We're definitely not gonna close it out today.
right,
That's
no,
for certain.
no, I wasn't bringing
No.
that to you today,
No,
but.
no, no, no.
I guess all I have at this point is the, resolution number 31 and 32. I'll go over 31 first. It's for 2017B construction fund requisition number 3. There's just one invoice. It's for the Total Equipment Company for equipment that you purchased for a clarifier repair in the amount of $13,950.
What?
It's right here.
I'm looking
Let me find, oh, okay.
It's right, it's right
Okay,
in the back.
it's in that little packet,
Yeah.
okay.
Like two to the.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, I need a motion to pay, $13,950
I'll make the motion.
for
I'll second
Total
that.
Equipment Company.
Do you need
I
the
would-
resolution number?
Yeah, I would
Okay.
say the motion specifically, resolution number 31 of 2000,
Where's-
resolution number 31 of 2019.
I'll make
Oh,
the
here they were.
I'll make the motion to accept the resolution number 31 of 2019, amount of $13,950.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Mr. Marasini?
Aye.
Mr. Schuster?
Aye.
Ms. Tucker?
Aye.
The second resolution is number 32 of 2019, 2018 construction fund requisition number 8, in the total amount of $38,980.
I'll make a motion to approve the payment of resolution number 32 of 2019 in the amount of $38,980.
I'll second it.
Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Mr. Marasini?
Aye.
Mr. Schuster?
Aye.
Ms. Tucker?
Aye.
That's all I have.
Good business.
Old business. Summer help.
Yeah, I like to make a motion to hire Deshaun Hall and Andrew Turpek for summer help effective immediately.
That's Deshaun Howe.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, sorry, you said
You said
Hall.
hall.
How?
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Mr. Marasini?
Aye.
Mr. Schuster?
Aye.
Ms. Tucker?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to hire Campbell Durant, B.D. Miller lawyer for the audit that we have coming up, pursuant to the proposal as submitted.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Mr. Marasini?
Aye.
Mr. Schuster?
Aye.
Ms. Tucker?
Aye.
update on MuniLink, you don't have anything?
We're still compiling, actually, Amy and myself have a, I don't know, an hour and a half conference call with them tomorrow to give them more information. We're still working on it. We're hoping it's going live August 1st.
And Ashley's been updated too?
Yep.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, new business, credit card processing company, we covered that. Fire alarm agreement, we covered that. Contract with the copier, we covered that. Okay, I need a motion to accept Carlin's audit for this year.
Can we table that?
No,
It can't be tabled.
I would not.
he just said no. He said that when we were in executive session.
Yeah, I would not because,
It's the dates.
right, correct.
We have to do that today.
If we accept
said-
it, can we accept it with, how do you say that, with exceptions? I wanted a chance to read that last part she told us about.
She needs us to do this today, is that correct?
The dates that she read it, we have to accept it. That's what she said.
That's what she asked for.
Yeah.
My question, you,
She stated that if we don't do it today, she would change the
Just
dates
change
on
the
the
dates
invitation.
of documents.
yeah, you just wanna look at it?
Yeah.
Till next month,
Yeah, no big deal.
we can do
Going
that.
over the report.
I don't have a problem with that. It's already late, okay, to go to our,
Printer.
no,
We'll have
our
to send it off to Bank of New York.
Bank of New York and those kind of people, DCED, those kind of reports. I would ask for a special meeting just to approve it, okay, 'cause it is late. That would be my thing.
Well, she
That's
can look
what I'm
at it, she
asking.
can look at it, we got a special meeting, I mean.
That's fine with me.
Okay,
It's-
we can do that.
Let me tell you.
I just don't think
I'm
we
gonna
should
tell you
table
what I
for
wanna
another
look
month.
at.
Sure.
When she stated there's some deficiencies in our recording of things that she says we should get straight, I need to know what deficiencies there are.
Can I touch on that subject?
Go ahead.
And she also, in that statement, made a statement that every year that she's gonna report, that's deficiencies, okay? And it's the same deficiencies, and it's because of the lack of amount of personnel, okay? In larger facilities, only certain personnel would be doing certain things, they wouldn't be commingling them, okay?
Yeah, but some things probably can be corrected, so we gotta see about that, because I'd rather not have all those loopholes and things. Maybe we can't correct everything, but where we can correct, let's correct. I'll be willing to come in and write something down for
Yeah,
y'all.
so after she looks at this, we should schedule a meeting if this needs to go out.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm
Special
I'm
meeting.
good with
Next
whatever
week,
you
sometime
do.
next week?
Whenever Miss Tucker's,
Will
done
you
with it.
available next week?
That's all.
We're still in June, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
alright.
I'll take the next 3 days and go through it real good, and
You let me know
I'll
when.
call you.
Okay, that's fine. Then
and I'll call the
we'll set
chairman,
up,
let him know I'm done.
Okay.
we'll set up the special meeting, and then we'll have Carlin execute new papers with that date of the meeting.
Okay,
Correct.
But everybody should be looking, not just me.
okay.
The whole board should be involved.
Okay, one more thing. John Baczynski passed away last week. He was an employee for how many years? One of the original employees?
He was an original employee, I think it was 28 years, I'm not 100%.
Okay, usually we send flowers or something,
I don't have
okay?
any problem with that.
Well, what it was is, he was only, the viewing was from 3 to 6 on Friday.
He was
It in the
97
paper,
years old, he was only
97.
laid out for 3
So
hours.
instead of doing that,
Yeah.
okay, I would like to either,
Voluntary.
I
Send like
think his
$50.
obituary said that he would like donations, if I'm not mistaken, and I'll check. I thought it was to the ambulance
It is.
service. Is that what it was?
okay, we could,
What
ambulance
word is
service,
he from? Monessen?
He was from Menneson, he was a Menneson guy.
the ambulance services both, or we can make a donation to both libraries.
Lenore and Vanessa Library?
Yeah, both libraries, I
Yeah,
said.
that'd be good.
If his obituary requested the ambulance service, I think we should go with
Go with these
the
wishes.
ambulance service, yeah, go with his wishes.
Is that what
Whatever you want.
Yeah, that's fine.
How much?
Give him, he worked here?
Yes, sir.
How long did he work here?
28
I
years.
think 28 years.
Give him a couple $100. That's all I have a problem with that.
It just needs to be done in a motion.
I make a motion that we donate $200 to the, is it called the Menneson Ambulance Service?
Mon Valley Emergency Medical.
Mon Valley Emergency Medical Service in the name of
John Baczynski.
John Perchinsky.
I second it.
Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Mr. Marasini?
Aye.
Mr. Schuster?
Aye.
Ms. Tucker?
Aye.
That's it. Need
I
a
move-
motion to adjourn.
I move for adjournment.
I second the motion.
Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Mr. Marasini?
Aye.
Mr. Schuster?
Aye.
Ms. Tucker?
Aye.